Monday Night Football. The Houston Texans are on the road to take on the Dallas Cowboys. My best bets are on the way. In this video, I have my favorite player prop, as well as who I think wins and covers in this game. If you are new, my name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. We begin the videos recapping how we did the previous day or week betting the NFL. And in this case, we're recapping how we've done so far on Sunday. And it's been a pretty big week for us. We had our first 2-unit play of the season. Breece Hall's over in rush attempts. I didn't need to be sweaty. If the Jets didn't go with 5 3-and-outs to start the game, we probably would easily cash, but it was sweaty. We'll take it. We also had a ladder challenge, which cashed. Bijan is over. Levis threw an interception on his final throw with the Lions same game parlay, which was free. Some close reads. CMC barely goes over, ends with 79. Similar way we lost Drake May. He ended with 27 when we lost Russell Wilson. So a 6-2 Sunday. It's been a really good day. You see one play down there that doesn't have a green check or a red X. It's Chase Brown's under in receiving yards. As I record this, it's actually at halftime of the Chargers and Bengals game. And he has 1 yard to show for it. So hopefully he can keep up that pace, go for 2 yards in the second half, and we can cash with that under. Hopefully have a 7-2 Sunday, which would be large overdue. We've been obviously kind of running into quicksand the last few days and hopefully last few weeks betting the NFL. And obviously it's good to see finally the reads start to go our way. Got a little bit lucky with Will Levis, maybe a couple other plays, but we hadn't really had a lot of luck going on this season. So hey, we'll take a 6-2 day. Hopefully Chase Brown made it a 7-2 day. Probably by the time you're watching this, you probably already know if Chase Brown went over or under. I'm praying he went under, but either way, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you are new, do me a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning follower, I appreciate you for tuning in and coming back to the channel. Hit that like button as well. Now I'll talk about my favorite prop in just one moment. As always, you guys can share your favorite props down below in the comments. It always is a great community. So if you want to share your props, some people out there, maybe you're a Bengal or not a Bengals, maybe you're a big fan of either of these two teams. You're like, hey, I've been watching the practice reports. Hey, this is something you should look for. Hey, we will appreciate it. Drop it down below in the comment section down below. As always, we love Sleeper here. Sleeper is a daily fantasy app. It's available in a ton of different U.S. states. Right now, they're giving away this free square on the screen for CJ Stroud to get you 1 yard. It's a free square, but also if you sign up using my code COS, they will match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,500. Pretty cool offer. Take advantage. Code COS. Link down below in the description. We were so close to hitting our sleeper entry on Sunday. I mean, we didn't have a lot of picks that lost. So close. But hey, we'll run one back next Sunday. But either way, let's dive into the picks today. The first one, my favorite player prop in this game is an under. I know people don't like unders. Hopefully you can get there with me. And if you can't, that's okay. Don't put your own money if you don't like it. It's Cooper Rush, the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback, under 20.5 completions, minus 125 on Bet365. Now, I historically have had a bad track record in terms of passing props. Not that I don't have a bad read. I always choose the wrong one. So I went between completions and I went between pass attempts. Now you could say the same thing about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson went over in completions, over in pass attempts, under in yards, the one that I picked. And that's just kind of been my luck on betting these props. I like the under in completions here. You could take the under in pass attempts, which is like 33.5. I don't hate that one either. I just like the completions a little bit more, and I'll elaborate why. But obviously, you can take whichever one you feel like. Under in yards, I'll talk about. I don't love that as much. I mean, last week, if you took the under in yards, you probably could have retired and moved to Aruba. But either way, I like the under in completions, and here's why for 1 unit. Now, Cooper Rush obviously is the new starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott's going to be out almost for the year, it seems like, at this rate. And honestly, he has a very short leash. Last week, Cooper Rush, 13 completions of his 23 pass attempts for 45 yards. No, that's not a typo. How do you complete 13 passes for 45 yards? I don't know. But look, if I'm the Cowboys coaching staff, I'm going to come into this game and I'm going to do 2 things. Number one, I'm going to try to lean on the run game a little bit. Rico Dowdle, I like his over and rush attempts, like 12.5. We took it last week. It was sweaty because the Cowboys could not move the football. But I do really like the Rico Dowdle rush attempts. I think that's a solid look. And my second thing is, if I were to address something, is encourage Cooper Rush to take some shots down the field. This is a Texans defense that is very good, but they are prone to giving up some deep balls. Now, a deep completion doesn't really hurt us here, honestly, because we're doing completions. What really hurts us if Cooper Rush is just doing 1 yard passes the whole game. And now, obviously, they'll probably be punting a good amount if he's just completing 2 yard passes the whole entirety of the game. And he probably gets benched at some point. But again, he has a very short leash. Last week against the Eagles, he was benched for Trey Lance, and I don't think they're going to have a long leash for him because obviously Cowboys season is honestly kind of cooked. So why not see what you got in Trey Lance? Maybe at the worst, he could become a decent trade asset or be the backup of the future that you're looking forward to. Again, this is not a good matchup either, though. We're not just banking on Cooper Rush just sucking, and that's the only way we're cashing. This is a tough matchup. The Texans allow the lowest completion percentage in the NFL at just 54%. They allow 16.7 completions per game, which is tied with the New York Jets for the fewest in the NFL. 7 of 10 QBs have faced them, have gone under this line. The 3 guys I went over, I'll see if I can remember them. Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, and Caleb Williams, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 guys and some decently heavy passing attacks. Houston, also number 1 in time of possession. If you look at Joe Mixon's lines, I'll talk about a couple other player prop leans at the end of this video. Mixon's rush yards is one of them. They just want to run the football. Obviously, Nico Collins is back, which gives their passing attack and the ability to convert on third downs a little bit of a higher percentage. But again, they still want to run the football a good amount, chew that clock, and hopefully limit the opposing team's offensive possessions. And they trust their offense to be able to convert. In 7 career games, though, for Mr. Cooper Rush, when he's played 75% of snaps, Rush is under this line in 5 of 7 starts. Now, he actually has a decent win-loss record. He was pretty good for him back in, 2021, 2022. I'm not saying the Texans are going to lose this game, but I think maybe this one's a little bit competitive. Either way, I just don't see him getting to 21 completions. The Cowboys cannot want him to drop back 35 plus times. It's just not how they're going to win this game. I think they try to establish the run, and if they can, we'll obviously see less pass attempts and less completions for Cooper Rush. And I wouldn't be shocked. I also liked his over and longest completion. I think he takes a couple shots tonight. Taking a couple deep shots does not hurt us. It really doesn't. If he wants to complete a 75-yard touchdown, that's fine. That's one completion. Get the heck out of there. So I really do like Cooper Rush's under 20.5 completions, my favorite prop of the day. I'll talk about a couple props in a second, but of course, I need to talk about my game lean. I lean the Texans -7, but this line just feels weird. This was 7.5, now been bet down to 7. Are the Texans a sharp play? Absolutely not. Everyone's going to be on the Texans. Do I want to bet on Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys? Not really. They've kind of looked bad. I mean, everyone knows that. So I don't know if I'd bet on the Texans -7. I think if I were to bet on this game, I'd look at that FanDuel win margin. Texans to win by 1-13, plus 105. I recommended betting that with the Eagles. That ended up covering the 1-13. A little sweaty. You needed a last-second Commanders touchdown, but Jaden Daniels had your back. I just don't know if I want to get there with the Texans -7, betting 7 points on the road. I'm personally not betting the spread. I don't want to put my own money on Cooper Rush to perform well, and we're already rooting kind of against him. I just think this could probably a lower scoring game, if anything. And so I'll avoid the game betting it in that capacity. I still love my Cooper Rush prop, but would it shock anyone if the Cowboys somehow covered? Not really. Would it shock anyone if the Cowboys got smoked? Not really. This game feels like it has 2 outcomes. Either the Cowboys get destroyed or they somehow keep this one close. I don't think they're blowing out the Texans. If they do, I'll tip my cap because that would be insane. But either way, I don't really have a great lean here. Normally, some games I have a good read on. This is not one of them, and that sucks. But hey, it's week 11, the final game of Monday Night Football. We'll see what comes from it. Now I want to wrap up the video talking about a couple props that I looked at. The first one, as I already said, Cooper Rush is over and longest completion. It's 27.5 on FanDuel. That is one I did take a peek at. Sure, does it go kind of against our under in completions? A little bit. But I just can't see them going out there and be like, yo, Cooper Rush, great work last week, brother. Keep it up, man. 13 for 45. That's great. We're proud of you. Keep doing it. No, he's got to take some shots down the field. If they want any chance of competing in this game, he's taking a few shots. Holding a QB under a 27.5 line, pretty tough. And the Texans, if you look at QBs against them, pretty much every single QB is going over that. And there's not a lot of good QBs in there. There's some bad ones in there too that are going over that line. So that's one I did look at, didn't love it. And then Joe Mixon's over in rush yards. It was one that I almost did. I was this close. Now, there is a chance Joe Mixon finds himself into the ladder challenge, which is probably a little bit why I didn't put him as a 1-unit play, because we do track the ladder as 1-unit plays. That's what I recommend doing, 1 unit on the ladder and then rolling over the money, $10, now $20. I like Joe Mixon though. I think they're going to run the football. We've seen guys that get the ball a lot against the Cowboys have pretty good success. Last week, Saquon didn't do a whole lot, 14 carries for like 60s, 8 yards or something like that. Really didn't run a ton of plays, if we're being honest. So I do like Joe Mixon, though. If I had to bet another prop, it probably is over in rush yards. It's like 86.5, though. So it's not easy to get to an 86.5 line. I mean, you need the game script to go your way. You need to bust off some decent long runs. I think he does. So I would lean his over in rush yards if I had to bet another thing. But my only pick in this game, Cooper Rush, under incompletions. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want to check out my NBA best bets video, check it out there. We had a pretty good day on Sunday. We went 3-1, cashed our 2-unit NBA play. That was sweat free. Shout out Devin Booker. And then there will also probably a ladder challenge up for day 2 posted somewhere. That'll be linked on the screen. Sign up, use for Sleeper using my code COS, or link down below. $1 for $1 match up to $1,500 and get a CJ Stroud free square. Have a great Monday. Have a great start to your week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.